Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen-Botham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen-Botham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And that's why we're excited to be talking about Arise Africa. We're honored to have with us their executive director, Alissa Rosebrough. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, you all are doing tremendous good with Arise Africa, so we have a lot to talk about when it comes to school, education, homes, feeding programs, transforming lives, and so much more. But this all starts with your personal story as a photographer working with companies and an NBA team. And so give us a little bit of your background and what led you to launch Arise Africa.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild story, but I graduated from Texas A&M University, and my goal was to be a freelance photographer, and that's what I was bound and determined to do, and started working for various groups, corporations, I worked for a large construction company, and then started basically knocking on the door, calling an NBA photographer by the name of Clark Evans, who was the San Antonio Spurs photographer, and asking him if I could start to shadow him and see what he did. And so finally I badgered him enough, and he said, "You can come to one basketball game with me, and then that's it, and you have to stop calling me." And then that kind of started my career, my photography career. And so I was able to work with him and shoot NBA games for multiple years, and continue to do corporate photography for a construction company and things like that. And through my photography, it got me onto the continent of Africa. And I started working for various aid organizations and just fell in love with the people, and knew I wanted to do more than just take pictures, and met another American over there at the time, John, and he was awesome in helping me get Arise Africa started and going. And once again, we thought once a year we'd get our friends together and raise money to send over to our African friends for textbooks, something like that, small, simple, easy. And man, let me tell you, it's a very different plan. Got out a different plan, and I feel like I'm just along for the ride, and I'm 15 years in.
And so to your point, 15 years in, and you do a lot between schools, homes, feeding programs, and so much more. So go ahead and dive into all the amazing things you do to power the good.
Yeah, so basically what Arise Africa, we're there to equip, we're there to educate, and we're there to empower. And so we do that in all sorts of different ways. But we have about 700 children in a child sponsorship program. They go to our schools, our community center every single day, and they're getting top-notch education. We say we provide private school education in the slums, and these kids are getting to see a pristine, nice school with incredible teachers, a small classroom ratio. They get to come into a place where it's organized, where there's adults looking after them. They get a hot meal a day. It's typically their only meal they're eating. And then through that, they're educated from pre-K to grade 12. You're going to be with us as long as you're willing to do it. And then from there, we're going to help you go either to be trade school, to university, whatever that looks like. I've got a pilot in South Africa. I've got a computer engineer working for Amazon in America. I've got the gauntlet. I've got trade school, carpenters. I got it all. And that's been such a blessing to see. And it's been really fun. But our goal is to empower you and for you to then make the change and make the difference in your life to help you get out of poverty. And we've been so blessed, like I said, to have these 3 schools and community center that we run. And then we have 2 homes where kids live in our full-time care. And so typically for you to have to end up in one of our Arise homes, you've been pretty bad off. And so medically, abuse, the really, really hard things. And that's such a blessing for us too. 20 kids that are in our full-time care. You'll go to grade 12 with us, and then you end up going to college for the most part if you're in the Arise homes. So it's been really, really awesome. And yeah, we feed a ton of kids every day. We help with medical care. We just had a cross-eyed kiddo get yesterday, which was so fun because it did take a long time to work with the family and doctors and make sure everybody was on the same page of that, because they're not really used to Western medicine. And so, we're constantly working with our kids and doing everything we can to provide a life for them that God desires for all kids to have.
Talk about what life is like for the kids there. Paint the picture, help paint the picture of what adversities and challenges, from clean drinking water to toilets to food, what are these kids going through?
Yeah, it's hard. It's crazy to see. So all the kids that we work with live in the slums. They call them the compounds over there. They typically maybe have one parent, maybe two. They might be living with a grandparent, a neighbor, an aunt, an uncle. They're living in a tiny, tiny cinder block house. There's no running water. There's no electricity. It's a dirt floor. They don't have a bed. They're probably sleeping on just the dirt. There are pit latrines where you go to the bathroom. It's jam packed, super crowded. When it's rainy season, there's water in your house. When it's cold, you're cold. It's really, 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 really difficult situations and conditions. It gets very dangerous. There's not good stuff that happens in the compounds. And so our kids are really up against a lot. For most of our children, by far, if they graduate high school, will be the highest education anybody in their family has ever gotten. Most of the parents are illiterate that we work with. And so our kids are really the first generation to ever have a chance or a shot. And there's just nobody else, no other programs or organizations that are working where we are to really, we're kind of their only hope. But it's been really cool and a blessing to see. A lot of parents do come alongside us and want to help their children. They just don't have the means to do so themselves. And so that's been really fun to also work with families and parents to help them understand what does it look like to raise a child that's ready to go in this world.
Carry that into then the feedback, the testimonials, the relationships that you have a chance. I mean, obviously, as you alluded to, the transformation in terms of what it does for them in their career, but talk about kind of what you have a chance to see in terms of these children blossoming and growing and having faith and hope and what that means for them.
Oh, yeah, it's so fun. It's fun to be 15 years in because when we started Arise, the first kids in our child sponsorship program, we worked with our Zambian team, and I said, get the little ones, because I have no idea what we're going to do with them when they get to trade school or high school. We didn't have money. I mean, it was kind of like, we'll see what happens, and hopefully at that point we'll be ready, and thank the Lord we have been, and had such generous donors and supporters. But yeah, I've got kids that are graduating college now that are ready to go. We've got one kiddo, Dorothy, that lives in America with my husband and I, and she came into our full-time care in the homes in 2012. And she's now in architecture school studying architecture at a university here. And so it's been so fun to see, help them dream. We even have to do field trips. These kids sometimes have never been outside of their compound. They've never been in a car. And so all of a sudden to show them what else is out there in the world, they live in this beautiful continent. They've never seen an elephant. So to take them to the national park and show them this amazing creation where they live, all these things we have to teach them and train them to do because they've never known anything else. All they have worried about is how can I eat next? How can I stay safe tonight? Am I going to get beaten up or what's going to happen tomorrow? And that's for sure the poverty mindset. So when you start to provide stability in a school, in a place where they're coming every day, where there's not just teachers, but there's a whole other group of staff that's there and dedicated to making sure you're okay, then you get the headspace to dream and think about, what do I want for my future? And to work with guidance counselors, and not just on career, but money management and all these other things that these kids have never been exposed to. So now we're starting to see these mini adults, and honestly, it makes me sad because I remember them when they were this big, and now we're working with them to be lawyers and all these great trades. And they're a totally different human, and they're responsible and they're eager, and that's what's really, really exciting to see is they want it. They want to be at school. They want the opportunity. If we're not dragging them, they're there and they want it. You just have to provide the opportunity for them.
Talk about the ripple impact. So in terms of pouring into the youth and then them succeeding and having these opportunities, but then to go back and look at how that creates the ripple with their family and what's possible back, in the community. Talk about that transformation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We always talk as a board, like, I hope that, one day the next president of Zambia is going to come from Arise Africa. And not only are these kids, all of a sudden empowered with a great education, but they've got morals and they've got values in a highly corrupt country. And all of a sudden they're like, I'm not standing for that. Like, that's not how this is okay. They understand what it's like to grow up in a bed and not be beaten. They understand what it's like to responsibly take care of children. They weren't taken care of responsibly, but they got to grow up with adults that did take care of them responsibly. And so, yes, we're just at the cusp of starting to see the impact of that and them wanting to help others. They're highly committed to it. All of our kids that are in college, they love coming back to our schools and telling the little ones, like, hey, I was your age once and look where I am now. Hey, you got to work hard. You got to listen to them. Don't get in fights. Don't get pregnant. Like, it's worth it. Look where this is going to go. Look where I am. You can do the same thing. And that's been really, really, really cool to see. And I can't wait to see the ripple effect. We definitely see it now. And I'm fully confident it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. But even Dorothy, who lives with my husband and I, she says all the time, like, it's so fun to see a family sit around and have dinner. And like, she grew up in our homes where there was, 10 kids and a house parent, but even to see just a nuclear family and raising kids and, the messiness of it all, even when my husband and I fight, it's like great for her to see, hey, you can fight healthily and have great marriages and all these other things. And so, we're really excited about what the ripple effect is and what this looks like in 10, 20 years.
So I know that Higginbotham has taken a mission trip over and seen this firsthand. And for the team, those that came back, I mean, it changed their perspective. It changed their life. Melissa is still talking about it to this day in terms of the impact for her personally. And so I know that you take mission trips overseas and, you're able to see this firsthand. So talk about, let's kind of switch into how the community can help and support, but talk about the mission trips for those to go over and see this firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we love partnering with Higginbotham. Y'all are the most eager, willing people on the face of the earth. When you get to Zambia, God, all the Hig team members, they'll do anything we ask of them, which is really nice. And they get it. They get that it's Africa and there's chaos and there's crazy. And it's like, hey, jump in this car now, or now we're going to do this. And everybody's so flexible and great. A lot of Higginbotham employees then go sponsor kids. It's easy to sponsor a kiddo on our website. And that's really fun because then you get to start to be involved and see this kid and have a relationship with a child and get reports on them and photos of them. And if you have kids yourself, they get to know them and write letters to them and pray for them and build out a Christmas bag if they want to. So child sponsorship has been really fun to see, and especially with Higginbotham employees, because then Higginbotham people are over there and they get to meet those kids and take pictures with them and really see them in their lives. And the mission trips are a blast and they are life-changing. There's nothing better than just seeing a different world and a different environment and a different life. And it makes you so thankful for everything that we have here in America. But it also, in some ways, you realize how happy everybody is in Africa with very little. And I think it kind of helps hit a reset button for Americans of what really is important and what really is going to bring me happiness. Mission trips, sponsoring kids, all sorts of things is just such a great way to help Arise, but not only help your soul and feed your soul.
So carry that into, from a fundraising standpoint, financial contributions for scholarships, the many ways that the community can support Arise Africa.
The only reason why our schools run, why we do anything, is our child sponsorship program. So all 700 kids in our schools, we need sponsored, and most of them are. However, no, we've got a ton of pre-K and kindergartners and other ages right now on our website who aren't. It's the only way the school runs. It's the only way we have 85 Africans on staff that also have a nice salary and a great job and are providing for their own families in a third world country where unemployment is so high. Yes, absolutely getting involved and sponsoring a kiddo is life-changing for the kid and such a blessing for Arise. Right now, we're collecting Christmas swag bags on our website. You can shop our Amazon wish list. You can spend $5 to $500 and help us get everything. It's the only gift a child will get during the year. We build out the Christmas swag bags now because they go on a shipping container across the ocean. It takes quite a while. And then they get this great backpack full of underwear, socks, a toothbrush, toothpaste, and a lot of fun little toys that carries them through the year. So there's a lot of ways to get involved with Arise. You can sponsor a kid in our full-time care. You can sponsor a kid in our schools. You can sponsor one of our graduates. Any way, though, is such a blessing and such a help to us.
How has this changed your perspective for you, for your family? Obviously, those who have a chance to be blessed by taking the mission trips. How has it changed your perspective on the power of one person being involved and investing in the life, especially of a youth, literally around the world, but what it can mean for global change?
Yeah, it's crazy and wild. I say every day that the biggest blessing in my life is seeing the miracles and the things that God is doing just by being a part of Arise. And so, yes, my family, I have a 7-year-old daughter and she's been to Zambia, I think 8 times. My kids are growing up it's normal that they live in Africa in the summer and this is what it's like. But it's like I said, it just keeps me balanced and level. As much as I can be. And I think it's a huge blessing for that. And yeah, all the time, we try to tell our sponsors and our donors so much and communicate to them, you're making such a big difference. And I feel like when people go, they do truly see it whole circle. And we try so hard, even if sponsors don't go, to communicate that through the letters and the reports of the child and everything else. But Arise does not have some one big donor. Arise has a bunch of single people that said, well, I can sponsor one kid. I can make a difference. I can spend $50 a month. I can do that. And that's what's made Arise now have 700 kids in sponsorship. So it doesn't take a lot. There's not just one big powerhouse. It's everybody saying, I can chip in a little bit. I've got one donor gives us $25 a month for school supplies. She's been doing it for years. I can't tell you how much stuff we've been able to do through her. She's awesome. And I'm texting her all the time saying, oh my gosh, I just got this on Amazon because we could do it because of you. And so that's what it's about. It's not that you need a ton of money. It's that, hey, what's the little part you can do?
What's one thing you mentioned, the happiness side, right? Like seeing how happy the kids are and how that warms your soul and your heart. What's something culturally, when you talk about, living in Zambia and experiencing the culture, what's one other thing that is kind of a special thing that you take back to you and your family and to others who have a chance to see it firsthand?
They're so communal. So like our kiddos at school, like they are getting one meal a day, but they're making sure every other kid is getting that one meal. And we've watched kids break apart a PB&J sandwich and put it in their pocket because they might have a sibling at home that's not in our program. And there's nothing about selfishness at all. We're going to share and we're going to do the best we can, even if I am starving, literally starving. And that's been really cool to see. And even amongst the Zambian adults, like all of our staff and everybody else, like everybody's going to share, everybody's going to help everybody. We had a staff member, she had a stroke years ago. She was young. She had it after pregnancy. And she had a 6-month-old child, and I had a single male staffer say, well, I'll take the baby. I can handle the baby. And I was like, what? He was like in his mid-20s. I was like, you don't know how to take care of a baby. And he was like, yeah, I'll take the baby. I can take her for a few weeks and help take care of her while she's recuperating. Never thought twice about it. Like, I can't think of a single man that would do that in America or that we would even think that way. And it was just like, yeah, whatever I can do to help, I'm going to do. There's no fences around houses. It's like, no, we're going to all do this together, no matter if I have a lot or I don't have a lot.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, go ahead and wrap up with website, social media. Where can we go to learn more? Where can we go to get involved with Arise Africa?
Absolutely. So our website, www.ariseafrica.org. It's a great website. It's got everything on it. You can sponsor a kiddo right there. You can look at mission trips that aren't even run through Higginbotham and come for the summer with your family and do VBS. There's a million ways to get involved on the website. Yes, our Instagram is @AriseAfrica. We're constantly trying to get more followers. That's huge. I'm on TikTok, Alissa Rosebrough. But yeah, we would love to. And hey, shoot me an email. All my information is on our website, but I will talk to anybody and everybody all day long about Arise. And you'll be tired of me by the end of it. But we have no issue talking to anybody and everybody about ideas or fundraising or any questions you have.
I love it. Well, Alissa, thank you for all you and your amazing team and family do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.